Hey, beautiful people, it's Rickita. I'm back with another video. So in this video, I want to talk to you guys about credit card comparisons. Some people just go and apply for credit cards. And I think that sometimes, we have to actually look at certain things to determine which credit card we want. I'm at the point in my life where I literally want to look at the numbers, look at the data on credit cards. I'm not falling in love with any credit card. I'm falling in love with what the credit card can give me. That's the only thing I can do now. Like anything else to me is going to be a failure. Like this is for me personally. So these are the different things that I look at when I apply for credit cards. And I want you guys to just see like where I'm at in my head because I remember when I messed up my credit, I had to start building my credit up again and I had to apply for credit cards. And I'm like, oh, why is this credit card not giving it to me? Why is this one not giving it to me? And I used to just cry about it in a way or whine about it. And it's like, stop whining. It's another credit card out there that can get you what you want. It's no point of whining. You need to go over there. So let's look at some of these things. The first thing is I want to look at the interest rate. Now, don't forget, I don't just care about interest rates. I don't. We got the variable and we have the fixed rates. That's not necessarily what I'm looking at because I'm paying my statement balance by my due date anywhere. Wait, they're never charging me interest. What I care about is, do this credit card ever offer me 0% APR on purchases and balance transfers? That's it. Like what's the good thing about this credit card? And when I look into the credit card, that's what I'm looking at right now. Again, I don't care if it's a 30% interest rate because I'm paying a statement balance by the due date and I'm not trying to hold a balance or I'm not spending any money on a credit card that I can't just pay back. So that's not my thing. My thing is, do you offer me 0% APR? Because maybe I want to do a balance transfer. Maybe I want to, I don't know, maybe I just want to, you know, just have 0% APR on purchases. Maybe I want to purchase something. Maybe you guys are in the same boat too. Maybe you want to purchase something for your home, such as you want to do a repair. And now you like, instead of me just paying paying cash, what I can do is I can just give 0% APR. I'll put this cash on my car to stop paying the extra interest on my car. And I'll pay this credit card off because I got 21 months to pay it off. I'll just pay this off. I'll just push the expenses back. Or, you can play with your interest rate with other things like that. But I want to know if they have 0% APR, basically. That's just what I'm thinking about in my head. Another thing I'm thinking about is fees. Like, do this credit card have an annual fee? Is there a balance transfer fee? Some companies are going to charge a balance transfer fee. What's the late payment fee? Which I really shouldn't think about anyway, because I'm always have my credit cards on auto pay for at least a minimum payment. You can never get a late fee for that. Is there any foreign transaction fees? When I go out the country, are they charging me fees to use my credit card? And also, what's the cash advance fee? I don't believe in cash advances at all. But you want to still know what those fees are. But my biggest one when it come down to this is, what's the annual fee? Is there a balance transfer fee? And can I use this credit card outside the country? Is there going to be a fee on that? Those are the different things I'm looking at. Also, I'm comparing the rewards. And then sometimes, let me back up some. When I say I'm comparing, I'm looking at, hey, I want these 4 credit cards. Okay. Or these are the 5 credit cards I want. And I want to see if these credit cards check off these things. I don't want an annual fee. I want 0% APR. I don't want to pay foreign transaction fees. If I'm going to do a balance transfer, I really don't want a balance transfer fee. If they are going to charge me a balance transfer fee, I want 0% APR on purchases. Because what I'll do is I'll put all of my new purchases on this one credit card and put all the cash that I was going to pay. I'm going to put that on the other credit cards to pay it off, basically. So those are the different things that I'm looking at. I'm thinking, okay, these are the 5 credit cards I want. Let me go down my list. Okay, that's what I'm thinking about. Or if I see that I can get these 5 credit cards, I want to see what other credit card match up with this list, because it may be a bank that I never thought about. It may be a credit union I never thought about, and I just need to figure out if this credit card is going to be good for me. Now let's talk about the rewards. Does this credit card offer cash back? Maybe I wanted to get a certain amount of cash back for gas because I already travel so much. Maybe you're a traveler and you want to see if they got travel rewards for you. You want to know also, is this points? What's the points for every dollar? What can you use this for? Products, services, or what can you actually use the points for? It's one of my credit cards I got a lot of points on, and I just don't like the ratio in terms of, for me to get the money off, I got to technically get it off in a gift card, and I just don't like the ratios. It's just been sitting there. I think it'll come out to $200 and something in gift cards, but I'm just like, y'all doing me wrong. This is not right. Like, but still, I need to know these different things. Are they rotating categories? These are in terms of my cash back. I need to know all of these different things. Also, sign up bonuses. Do any of these credit cards give me a sign up bonus? I love when I got my American Express, my Delta credit card. They actually, my American Express Delta, they actually gave me, I think, 65,000 miles. That was something that's like, okay, you know what? I'm going to actually get this one. And again, I don't know if you guys heard me ever talk about this, but I still got so many rewards left. And I used some of that to catch a flight to California and only had to pay $11 because, sometimes you got to pay extra fees. I only paid $11 round trip. Amazing, right? I was in love with that. Also, you want to know, like, what credit limit are they going to give you? Is this bank used? Is they known for giving out high credit limits? And not only just a credit limit, but um what's my potential of actually getting an increase? That's another thing. Like, do this company give out increases? And you might want to also look at additional benefits. Like, is there purchase protection? Like, if what I bought was damaged or stolen, is there protection when I get my money back? Do they have extended warranty when I use my credit card? Do I get an extended warranty outside of the manufacturer warranty on my purchases? Is there travel insurance just in case I got to trans cancel a trip, or I lost my luggage, or if it's travel accidents? Is there travel insurance as long as I use this credit card? Is it rental car insurance, like a secondary or primary insurance for rental cars? That's the one thing I did like about Capital One. Also, price protection. Would they refund the difference if the price dropped within a certain period? Is there any type of personal assistance for travel, dining, like concierge services? Is there any type of personal assistance for travel, dining, entertainment? These are the things that we should think about. And I told you already the redemption options. I really want to know how I'm going to be able to redeem this. I love credit cards. Like, I love my Discover. I love my Navy Federal. Apple automatically. I don't really like how Apple do their rewards. Let me not even lie, but I like that I can just put whatever my cash back is. Also too, Wells Fargo, just different companies. I love I could put my cash back right into whatever my bill is, because there's no point in me taking it out. Just put it towards my bill. That's less I gotta pay. I'm gonna pay my statement balance anyway. Just put it towards that. So I can get an extra $50 off per month just because I use this credit card and my rewards. That's what I just look at it as. Like, I get a $50 discount for using this credit card per month because that's what my rewards come up to. And I told y'all I don't like that when I try to redeem my points that I had on one of my credit cards. I don't like that it's gift cards. I need to know what my options are going to be basically. And is it multiple things? Is it cash back? Is it just travel? Is it gift cards? And then two, what's the minimum amount that I need to have to redeem it? Sometimes you got to have a minimum amount that you have to have in rewards to be able to redeem it. So that's something you can think about. And then your credit score requirements. I don't care if you fall in love with a credit card. You need to know what credit score they're really approving people at. That's my biggest thing. I look and see, okay, who all got approved, and then what they said their credit score was, so I know where my credit score needs to be. Did they have any negative accounts on their credit reports? And then they still got it. I need to know all those details, because if you know these details, you will understand, what credit score you're going to need to be able to qualify. So your eligibility, and then also your impact to your credit score. So I want to know, are they going to pre-qualify me without a hard inquiry? That's one of my biggest things. And customer service. Some companies have horrible customer service. Some, if you have some fraudulent transactions, they're going to take care of it right away. And some, it's like they're not even thinking about these transactions. They just let anything fly. And then some where you actually have to, you can't really call them. They have an email service. And these can be just those smaller fintech things too, but maybe they only have an email service. You can't just get on the phone and talk to one of them. So think about that too. And last but not least, you want to see if this credit card have any type of security features. Is there fraud protection? Usually it's a lot of zero liability protection for unauthorized transactions. That's what we kind of just talking about when I say, hey, if you got fraud, you can just call them. Also, are they going to alert you about suspicious activity? And then do they have that EMV chip technology? That's the chip. It's the enhanced security when you in person doing transactions. So make sure you guys review these different things carefully. This is what I look at, and this is what I think about when I think about applying for a credit card. don't forget to check out my website, Rickita.com, because I have a list of credit cards that can pre-qualify you without a hard inquiry. But do research on those credit cards too. And I'm going to start pointing out more things like this, because this list right here is, to me, this is, as long as you know these things, you're good, because you're going to be making a great decision when it comes down to those credit cards and getting approved for them. So hopefully this is helpful, and let's actually check out my website now. Hey, beautiful people, it's Rickita. I'm back with another video. So in this video, I want to talk about APRs and what you need to know about APRs. So APRs is annual percentage rates. Now, there is a specific definition for APRs. It is basically the yearly interest rate that's going to be charged for borrowing or earned through an investment. That's all it really is. And when we're talking about credit cards, we're talking about how much you guys are going to be paying on an annual basis. So sometimes with your credit cards, it's going to depend on what it would be. But let's just say the interest rate is 29.99%. That's how much they're going to charge you for the year. So if you were to have that $100, just sit there, just think about you're just paying an additional $30 almost, $29.99, because that's how much they're charging you for the year. Now, this represents the true cost of actually borrowing on an annual basis, and it allows you to actually compare the different credit card products, because if you guys know what the APR is, you can compare them like each credit card. Basically, this APR is 17%, this one is 25, this is 29. It's comparable. It's on the same thing. It's on a yearly basis. So that's something that you guys can use to like compare your credit cards. Also, they have different type of APRs. They have fixed APRs. That's just the interest rate is going to stay the same during the duration of your loan or credit card balance. And that provides you with a predictable monthly payment, especially if you guys are keeping a balance on your credit card. You guys also have variable APR. That means that the interest rate can actually fluctuate, and it's like a benchmark. So based on the changes in a benchmark rate, so which is basically the prime rate. So this is usually, the prime rate is a set rate based off of the market basically. And then they can add more onto that. So they can say, hey, we're going to do prime rate plus this, or whatever the case may be. But that's variable. It's going to change. So your payments are going to vary. The one I like the most is the introductory APR. So it's a temporary lower APR that's offered in the beginning of a loan or a credit card term, which is going to typically going to increase after the introductory period ends. So think about it like this. I like this 0% APR credit cards. Credit card can say, hey, we're going to give you 0% APR. We're not going to charge you any interest for 12 months, for 15 months. Those are the ones I like. And it's usually when you first get your credit card. They're not going to offer you that if you have their credit card for 10 years. This usually, once you get your credit card or once you get your loan, it's offered right then and there. Now, you got to understand how this APR is actually going to affect your payment. So when it comes down to credit cards, their APR on your credit cards is going to affect the interest rate that is charged on your outstanding balance. So if you guys are not paying the statement balance by the due date, then this APR is going to make it so that you have to pay more on your credit card. Now, I always tell you guys about like my Apple credit card payment. So if I was looking at my Apple credit card payment, I really don't have a balance on my card. But let me give you an example. My statement balance now is $89.82. I paid the statement balance last time. I didn't get charged any interest. So they say as long as I pay $89, I'm not going to get charged any interest. But if I decide, actually, no matter, they're saying I'm not going to get charged any interest. Matter of fact, they said, well, let me go back then. Let me not even compare it to this one because I want to give you a real life thing. But sometimes they'll say, hey, if you only make the minimum payment, we're going to charge you an additional $5, $20, $15 in interest. They tell me that on my Apple credit card. And it's going to affect it because if I just paid a minimum of $25, like last month, they told me, hey, if you just paid a minimum of $25, I think I had to pay like $700 some dollars. If I don't pay my $700 some dollars, if you just pay a minimum of $25, we're going to charge you $15 in interest, $15 and some change. So that literally means that only $9 and some change is actually going towards knocking down the balance that I have. So when you guys are not paying the statement balance by the due date, then you guys are basically putting money in these companies' pocket, these credit card companies' pockets. Now, APR on loans determine the total cost of borrowing over the life of the loan. When it comes down to cars, if you guys, one thing I found out when I was paying my car note, I'm still paying off another car that I have now, but when I paid off my other car, I realized that the more payments that I made on my car, less that they were charging me in interest. So now when I look at my car now that I'm paying off, it's a certain amount that they're charging me per day, but they're charging me my APR based off of the full balance. So once I get that full balance down, lower and lower and lower, they may go from, hey, we're charging you $5 a day in interest to, hey, you're getting charged $4.50 for $4.50 a day to $4 a day, $3.50 a day. It can change. It don't have to go down by 50 cents. It's just an example I'm giving you. But the more you pay towards that principal or just pay on that loan, it's less that they're going to charge you, because again, for a car, they're charging you APR based off of the whole balance, and it's a certain amount they're charging you per day. It's recalculated every day. So that's something I really like. And when it came out to the car too, I paid it up so much. They're like, hey, you don't have a payment for the next year and a half, like 2 years. But my interest went down too, where it's like, oh, we're only charging you $2 per day in interest. So I really like that, because you can go from getting charged $10 per day in interest if you have a very horrible APR to, hey, we charge you $5 per day. It's milestones, and it's great because you're saving money. So that your APR is going to affect your payments. And again, sometimes you could pay your minimum payment. Your minimum payment can be the same, but the amount that's actually getting charged in interest can be different. And that's going to determine how much money you're going to have left over that can actually go towards your balance. So definitely keep that in mind. When it comes down to mortgages, it's the same thing. So just make sure that you guys are paying extra towards the principal. And once you pay extra towards the principal, it's less that they're going to charge you, because they're charging you a certain amount of interest rate on your full principal balance, and then they break it down in your payments. It flows down to your payments. I thought it was totally different than that. I thought that no matter what, when I pay, like say if you got a $500 car note, I thought that, this is what I thought previously. I thought that, okay, it's $500. I already know $250 of it is going towards my balance and $250 going towards interest. For the remaining of my loan, that's what's going to happen. But that's not true. It's a per day thing when it come down to the car. And when you pay more on the principal balance, the actual balance you have, it's less that they're going to charge you per day. It can go down by pennies. Since you pay the extra $500 payment, we charge you 20 cents less per day. It can be something as simple like that, but it all adds up. And you want most of that money to go towards your balance anyway. Now you can actually calculate your APR. They have the simple interest calculation, and I just didn't want to get into all of this, honestly, because they got simple interest calculation, they got compound interest. All I did was I looked at my statement, like my car statement, and it told me, hey, this month we're charging you this much per day. And then the next statement, it went down. I went off of that. I didn't think too hard. I was like, okay, my next goal is to just bring it down some more. So I'm going to put extra $3,000 on here so I can bring it down from going from $4 per day to $3 per day, or that, my goal was just to bring that number down. I didn't try to calculate APR that much, just to be honest. But if y'all want to calculate it, you have the simple interest and you have compound interest. And compound interest, that's good when you're investing in stocks, but it's not good when you on the other end where it's compounding in terms of with your credit card. If you had you have $100 balance, but you only paid the minimum, so now they charge you $10 in interest. Let's just say that's what the number is. Now it's going to compound, because again, if you don't pay that statement balance again, and you keeping the same 110 on there, now they're going to charge you interest on the 110 as compared to the 100. And now, if you don't pay, the full statement balance, then you're going to keep going and adding more to it, and that's just not what you want to do. Now, there's different factors that's going to basically influence your APR, your credit score for sure. When it come down to a mortgage, when it come down to your car, when it come down to credit cards, they're going to look at your credit score to determine if they can give you a lower rate. That's basically what it is. The terms too. When I got a loan, they gave me options. My last car loan, they gave me options. Hey, you could do 36 months, you can do 48 months, you can do 60 months, you can do 72 months. And every time, well, each one of them, it seemed like my interest rate went up by 1%. And I'm not gonna say my dumb butt, but that's what came to my head. Like my butt was like, oh, it's only extra 3% to get it pushed out to 72 months. Let me do it. Thinking, oh, I'm just gonna pay extra. That sound good. But just start with the, and it covers your butt too. If you can't make the, what if you pick 36 months and now you're paying twice as much as what it would have been if you would have picked 72? I understand that, but it's like if you know you was gonna pay more on it, like just go with the 36. And then you can already have a lower interest rate. You can bring it down from there. Like, but your credit score is going to basically determine what interest rate you're going to get, the loan terms, and then also the types of credit. Different types of credit got different type of APRs. If y'all do a payday loan, y'all know what the APR can be. The APR can be 100%, 500% when you look at the actual numbers. Personal loans, they may say, hey, it's 30%, it's 15%, depending on where you go. 32% for a personal loan. And then also, if you guys were to think about credit cards, usually you can think 20 to 29%, unless you guys are having a very great credit score and you get one of them ones that say, hey, we only charge you 12%. And then mortgage, that can vary depending on what the rates are at that time. You can have a 3%, 4%, 5%, 10%, 8%. It could just vary. But again, with a mortgage being between 3, the chance of you, let's not say 3 because that's probably over right now. But the chance of you having a 4% or a 5% interest rate all the way up to a 10% for a mortgage compared to a personal loan that may charge you 12% all the way up to 40%, depending on your personal loan. It's just different for each one. So definitely keep that in mind. Credit cards can charge you 30%. It's different. Now, the impact on the APR on your finances, your total interest cost. If you're paying a lot of money in interest every month, I remember being in that cycle. I'm glad I'm out of it by knowing just to pay my statement balance by the due date. Sometimes it's very hard to catch up, and what you're paying in interest can be one of your bills. And I never liked that. Once I found out, like, I paid $300 a month in credit card interest, like, what is wrong with me? I'm like, this is my car note. I'm just giving it away. Or to find out that, some people paying $500 a month in interest, and if they would have put $500 into an IRA every month, they can be a millionaire. Just think about these simple numbers. Plus, you can add more. I just was like, this is mind blowing. There's no way. Once I understood that it's going to impact your finances a lot by paying a lot of interest, then, oh my gosh, I just said I need to stop this. Your APR can affect your monthly payment. The more that you're paying for your APR can actually make your monthly payment higher. If your APR is lower, you can have a lower payment. And debt repayment too. The higher your interest rate is, the more you're going to have to pay to interest. So you want to make sure that you're paying down that principal balance. Now, how can you guys actually manage this? Because you hear I'm telling you all this information, but how can you actually manage this? I want you guys to compare APRs. Always pay the statement balance by the due date on your credit cards, and pay off and pay down your balances, or pay down the balance on your mortgage, and also make sure you guys paying down the balance on your car, and just pay your statement balance by due date on the credit cards, because 29%, you guys, if y'all look, that's a lot of money. Seriously, I want you guys to look at your credit card statement and see how much they're charging you, and then I want you to compare what they charging you to what you could have got for that, and what bill did you just pay extra. If like $300, that's my energy bill. That means I'm paying two energy bills a month. That's crazy. So just keep that in mind. And then we have APR disclosures where they have to disclose how much your APR is going to be. So I want you guys to look into the regulations if you're having problems with that, and then understand the terms of it, understand what you guys are getting into when you're borrowing this money. If you guys have any questions, definitely let me know. Check out my website, Rickita.com. We're going to actually take a look at it now. But hopefully this video was very helpful and it gave you a great understanding on APRs.